This is a test of IQ, personality, and attention. What did you see first?
As you look at certain pictures, there's an ambiguity. Now, all of life has ambiguity. Things are not quite what they seem. What you see is oftentimes reflected by your past, your experiences, your motivation,
Your fears,
your fears,
your traumas.
all the different parts of your personality. So here we're going to be talking about your personality. Here's an old picture that has shown us. Do you see what? What type of woman? Do you see an old woman? Do you see the young woman?
What do you see first?
What do you see first? And everything now, true. Is it true? That depends on your seat in the ballpark, as I say. Or is it false? You see here the same word, true and false, upside down.
We all have different views and different perceptions, and what you see first also reflects back what you are sharpened about, what you are focused on.
Your experiences. Now, here you can see the face of a man, but can you see the face of the animal? In 2 minutes, only 1% of the population can actually see that animal when first looking at this. So take a look. Tell me what you see. Can you see the animal? Past experience, your motivation, your personality, all determined your perception. If you're driving along the car and all of a sudden there's a noise in the car, you start to perceive mechanic shops. If you're hungry, you'll start to look for food advertisements. Motivation, personality. Now, when you look at this picture, what do you see? Do you first see devil? Do you first see an angel? This is the famous Escher picture, devils and angels. Now, if you see devil and an angel, but do you see the two faces? Did that come out first? Where does your eye go? And if you look at this picture, how many faces do you see? See, it's all about perception. And what comes out first determines.
What do you see in this picture first? A young man's profile, looking to the left, or you see the young man looking towards you? It's up to you. What do you see?
Has to do with your personality, but what do you see? People who are in confrontation will see him looking at you. Now, in this picture, do you see the two old faces looking at each other, or do you see the two people playing musical instruments? What do you see? Because as we explore these different pictures with what you see or not see, what do you see first is shaped by your personality, your experiences, your motivation. Now, here comes another picture, very, very important. Take a look at this picture. Do you see that this is underneath the Eiffel Tower in Paris, or do you see the face involved?
Some of these determinations show how much you see the details, how much you see the little things.
And here with Marilyn, how many faces do you see in here? It's very, very interesting. Now here comes another picture. If you're counting the faces with Marilyn, what do you see first? Do you see the pretty lady? Or were you able to see that there was a peacock? And did you see there's a second bird as well? So as we start to look at these different pictures, and here's another one, do you see first the face? Or do you see a cliff with a dog sleeping on it?
This all describes what is important to you. What do you notify first? What comes across in your mind, in your emotions? Were you able to find the animal on this picture? Because only 1% of the population is able to do that within 2 minutes.
So take a look now. We'll be telling you a little later. Now here we have one of the famous ones. Are these pillars?
Or people.
Or is it people?
What do you see first?
If you're a people person, you'll see people. If you're not a people person, you'll see the objects, the pillars first. This starts to reflect an idea of your personality. Now here's a very interesting one. Take a look at this picture now. What do you see first?
Most people see a frog first. If that's you, then you have a straightforward personality. You try to be honest and direct with others, no matter what. You are perceived as confident, trustworthy, and reliable. If you see a frog, there are no hidden messages in your words, which is why people can trust your opinion and advice. If you see a horse first, you are a thoughtful individual who has an analytical mind.
You use logic.
It means you don't take things for what they seem to be. You have a critical approach to life and prefer to reach your own conclusions about the situation.
Now, take a look at this picture. What do you see? What do you see first? What do you see second?
On this picture, most people see the two squirrels sitting on the branch first. These are the types of individuals who can see the big picture effortlessly. These help you correctly assess situations at first sight and thus solve subsequent problems efficiently. Not everyone is able to see the woman's face at all. If you are one of them, you're a unique individual who can help you in both your work and your social interactions with others.
Okay,
last chance.
Take a look and you see
the animal.
Take a look. Little hint. Upside down. Look upside down. Okay, we'll tell you now. Here it is. Upside down, there's a little dog with a bone. What do you see there? Were you able to see it? If you were, you're very intelligent.
And you pay attention to detail.
What do you see first in this picture? If, like Goldilocks, you see 3 bears, that means you have an analytical mind. You try to break up an issue into its separate parts, helps you to understand the main problem and solve it efficiently, using logic. But if you saw mountains first and then saw the 3 bears, you have an intuitive mind. Use your gut feeling. Rarely let you down. You think with feelings, gut feelings. And in this picture, do you see the face of the old man? Do you see the young girl? Do you see the priest talking to the young girl? Or maybe that's not a priest. All of these factors of what you see will be coming out of your unconscious, based on your experiences, based on your personality, based on your motivation, and based on your ability to expand your mind and see things. If here you see a seal first, then you have very good logic. It can help you out of any argument. You're good at calculations and probably mathematics. And your analytical abilities will help you master languages and deal with people very easily. If what you saw is a donkey first, then you're an intuitive person who values your freedom and prefers to work without any supervision. Ability to anticipate seems like precognition, and you can make plans, but you consider all the alternatives to decide which is the best one. On this picture, if the first thing you see is a squirrel, this means that your left side of the brain is more developed. That means that it's responsible for logical, analytical thinking, mathematical skills. If you saw the duck first, that means the other side of the brain is involved. And that means that you're good at art, creativity, emotion, intuition. If the first thing you see here is the man with the saxophone, that means that you have a left brain, analytical thinking, good at numbers, languages, logic. If you see the woman first, that means that you're more emotional, right brain. That means art, creativity is more important in your life. If you see a woman looking out the window first, then you're probably not quite aware of some of the dangers around you. You might even risk your life without realizing it, and sometimes you're too spontaneous. and sometimes naive. If the skull is what you saw first, then you're probably a realist, not an idealist. You might be cynical to people who don't really know you well enough. And as a realist, you realize that all good things will come to an end one day. If your eye sees the mouse first, that means you're an optimist, maybe not practical enough. You might not be practical enough to have your head out of the clouds. Your head's in the clouds. Don't really see things right. If you see the cat first, then you're a realistic person. You don't build castles in the air, and you know what you need from life. But if you see both, cat and mouse simultaneously, it just means that you're an open-minded visual person. Okay, we saw this one before, but now I flipped it left and right to see if it still has the same effect on your left and right hemispheres, for you to understand that even when you see things left and right, it might change what you see.
If you see a girl's face, you're aware of your surroundings, and what's more, you see patterns around you, and this helps you draw the right conclusions and make correct assessments. If you saw flowers first, that means you really love nature and you appreciate the world around you, but also manage to get away from the everyday hustle and bustle when you need to. If you have seen the two faces on this image first, that means you are really romantic at heart. You really value the people in your life. Love and understanding mean a lot to you. You also have a positive and friendly personality who likes to be around people. If your attention was instantly drawn to the tree, you're a kind of person who sometimes likes to be alone. You love nature and solitude, but don't mind spending time with your loved ones as well. Besides, you're a tactful person who avoids hurting others' feelings by all means. If you see the man with the pair of binoculars, you like to see the big picture. Several glances are enough for you to collect all the information you need. That's why you aren't a big fan of thorough analysis. If you instantly saw a car, your co-workers and friends must appreciate your ability to notice fine details. You like when everything goes according to a detailed plan. At the same time, you may occasionally overanalyze things, which can prevent you from making quick decisions. Are you one of the very few who notice the letter A first of all? If so, then your strong intuition is enviable. On top of that, you're a person who always suggests creative ideas and non-standard solutions.
Well, your eyes are probably tired after all this little exercise, but now take a look at this face on the left and stare at the little dot in the middle. Stare at the face now. We're going to stare at it for about 20 seconds. Keep staring, stare only at the face. Your eyes will get tired, and it looks like an old, ugly woman. But after 20 seconds, which is just about now look at the white over on the other side, and you'll see a pretty face. Because the colors of your eye, after a little bit of fatigue, have changed, and the rods and the cones have memorized the contra colors. So, did you learn a lesson about ambiguity? Did you learn a lesson about your personality? Did you learn a lesson about perception? What else did you learn while watching and seeing this little tape? And I hope that you turn on some of our other tapes and learn more about yourself and the functionings of your biology.